Welcome to episode 25 of the Ryan Leach podcast. Today I got with me a special guest, y'all. Y'all welcome CBS football analyst slash host Brian Jones to the show, man. How you doing?
First of all, I'm doing horrible since this is show number 25 and I'm just now on here since I'm supposed to be your big homie. Nah, I'm good, dog. Glad to be here and all's well. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Honored to have you on the show. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give him a little backstory how we met. You played football with my stepdad, my pops, Wayman Wesley Jr. or Wayman Wesley, man. So I
Yep.
know y'all go way back. Y'all was 1980s. I know y'all was together. So he told me a lot about you, and then you actually gave me the opportunity to come and tour at the CBS studios. So I definitely appreciated that. We reconvened at NABJ. It was good to see you. I came to one of your panels, so it's good reconnecting with you. But yeah, from all that's how we met. That's how we got connected. Anything else you want to add to that?
Hey, your step pops, great dude. Wayman, ton of respect for him, as did everyone in that locker room. I have a ton of respect for Wayman. Great human being, and unfortunately for him, he tore up his knee and kept tearing it up because he could ball, and he just kept blowing out his knee, man. So I'm glad we hooked up via him. And you're right. You asked to come by the studio. I said, come on. And I was working, so I wasn't going to show you around. But if we had somebody to show you around,
No.
it sounds as though you had a good time. So that was good. And then to see you and reconnect at NABJ, that was my first foray at NABJ, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It was so cool, man. So great to see you there.
Yeah, yeah. Back to what you said about Wayne, and yeah, he always tell me story. Yeah, I would have been in the league if my knee, but then
Ah,
his teammates come and y'all always co-sign. He was like, no, he was really nice. Like he was
I'm
really. They were
telling
like,
you.
he was playing freshman year. He hit the field immediately. I'm like, wow, okay, maybe he not. Because you hear them old heads, they be like, no, my knee ain't. But nah, he really telling the truth. I'm like, okay, I got you, I got you. And then,
We
like you
all
said,
got
he
an
showed me the
excuse.
utmost. Exactly. And then, like you said, you showed me the utmost hospitality at CBS, so I definitely appreciated that. Showed me how y'all got it going on over there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had runners getting y'all food. They was I'm like, oh, okay, y'all got a good little setup over here. I ain't mad at this.
Hey, we call it fat season. You saw it in action, man. Right now, everybody's slim and trim as we embark on this new season. And about mid October, the willpower just gives up. It's like, oh,
Oh yeah, it's gonna
eh,
change.
oh, it just, you eating everything they put in front of you at that point, especially when AT joined last year, Aaron Taylor. That knucklehead was eating. I looked over there the first weekend, like, dang, dude, you ain't stopped. He just like
They got him gone.
pulled
Them
out.
runners was working.
Yeah, he was killing them. Now he's dropped about 40 some, so I'm proud of him. We'll see how long it lasts. Adams dropped some. I've gotten back to where I am usually prior to the season commencing. Rick, he's about the same. So yeah, once we get going, man, it's difficult to stay slim and trim.
Yeah, yeah, always working. I imagine. I wanted to start with like some of your upbringing and where you grew up. I know you were originally born in Iowa City, but
Yep.
you were raised in Lubbock, Texas. So how was
Yeah,
that
I
living in
was.
Lubbock and that change?
Um, my biological mom was up there doing whatever the heck she was doing, and here pops out Brian Jones, and I'm shuttled immediately to Lubbock, Texas, to my grandma, as were my other two biological siblings. Unfortunately for my grandma, but she was a great lady. So yeah, I popped out in Iowa City. Have no recollection. Then went to Lubbock, but the late Hayden Fry, the legendary coach at Iowa, he used that in his recruitment of me. The fact that
He
I was
tried to
born in
get you, yeah.
yeah, I was born in Iowa City. So, and they were hot at the time. They were big time hot. They were just getting ready to play UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Had a fabulous season, and he used that, man, and it was cool. And I liked the school. I had a good time during my recruiting visit up there. But that's the Iowa City portion, man. But all I've ever known is Lubbock, Texas. We call it L.A. Lubbock area. Sounds more metropolitan.
For sure. Now, speaking of UCLA, you did commit there first, and you played the season up there before transferring to your home in Texas. What went into that decision of transferring to Texas, and how did you like UCLA, and why was that the school that you chose originally out of high school?
Loved UCLA. Oh my goodness, I get chills just thinking about it. Loved it, loved it. I'm a snotty nosed kid from Lubbock, Texas. We get 4 seasons. It's freezing cold. I get on a plane, fly to LA, and it's 75. It's beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. It's diverse. And I thought I was on another planet. Where did this come? It was amazing. They are embarking on their third straight Rose Bowl to take on Iowa, and and ended up winning that ball game. And the campus was just magnificent, sitting in the middle of Beverly Hills and Bel Air, and I was just blown away. And then they were good, they were hot. And I'll go back because I remember my senior year in high school at football practice. My coach tells me the UCLA coach is coming today. Man, I tried to kill everybody on my team. I was out there.
Oh, you brought it that day.
Oh, I brought it. I mean, not as if I didn't bring it on other days, but that day, oh my goodness, I'm getting this scholarship. I mean, I was being recruited by everybody. So, but the fact that it was UCLA for some reason uh, really resonated. And so I always have been a Longhorn fan my whole life. Texas lost, I was crying. I mean, it broke my heart when they lost on my Dallas Cowboys, and I'll still might shed a tear when Texas loses, not my Cowboys anymore. But definitely, Texas always had a blank check in my heart. So when being recruited, they were recruiting me. But this is the Southwest Conference. SMU had just gotten the death penalty, so the entire conference was in turmoil. It was nuts, man. And everyone's under the looking glass or under the microscope, and so I go out there once again. I'm enamored, enthralled with what I just witnessed, and the fact they got a good football team. So I ended up going to UCLA. I played 2 years actually. Played my freshman year, freshman All American. Then I had back surgery, and I only played like 3 or 4 games my sophomore year. But the whole time I was there, even my freshman year, when I'm balling out, I am longing to be a Longhorn. And mind you, they were down at the time. The program was down. They were losing like crazy. They were trying to figure it out. But I still wanted to be a Texas Longhorn. So that's how I ended up at UCLA. And then it just turns it so happens the young lady I dated one a minute. I dated at UCLA. The one I did, her brother-in-law was a state rep in Texas from Houston, Ron Wilson. So Ron is married to Mercedes' sister, older sister. He gets wind I want to come back. He gets word to the coaching staff, and the wheels start turning, man. And so I ended up transferring after my sophomore year at UCLA.
Wow. Okay. Okay. No, yeah, that's interesting how that all turned out. Yeah, I knew even while you were winning and doing everything at UCLA, you had to be a Longhorn, man. That's what it's about.
Dude, I would sit there, and there was a legendary Longhorn, Jerry Gray, that I grew up watching in Lubbock. He played at the rival high school, Estacada, and he was about, I guess Jerry's maybe 5, 6 years older than me, but I watched him play quarterback, watched him play safety. Of course, he goes to UT, has a stellar career there, and he's a first round pick of the LA Rams. So, that only uh, just stamped and branded me a Longhorn watching Jerry play there, even though he was from the rival high school. And then they would come to town, and we would always work the Tech games. We were supposed to be working the Texas Tech games, selling popcorn, Coke. When Texas came, I'm watching the game. I pretty much did that for every game. I didn't sell anything. I'm just trying to watch the game. Then we run on the field and get the sweaty wristbands and march with the Tech band back to their band hall. It was some cool times. But yeah, I've always been a Longhorn, man.
Man. Okay. Okay. So you were drafted by the Raiders and then traded to the Colts. How was that rookie year and the adjustment to you going from college to the pros?
Well, yeah, the Raiders drafted me way later than they should have. I had that. I actually had back surgery after my freshman year at UCLA, and everyone was afraid of that. But thank God I played through it. And they drafted me eighth round. It was the worst team for me to go to. One, I knew LA, having been at UCLA, because the Raiders were in LA at that time. They were the LA Raiders. I knew LA. Now I have a little coin in my pocket. Not a lot, just a little. I'm an eighth round draft pick, mind you. Back then they had 12, but still had a little. And I knew where the bodies were buried. So I go out there and I'm wilding out.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. You was having a good time.
this is a freshman team. I mean, excuse me. This is a veteran team, the Raiders. They'd go and pluck the best from every NFL team to form their roster, and so I mean studs. You got Marcus Allen, of course, they drafted, and Tim Brown they drafted, but you got Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig and all these big names. Man, Willie Galt was there. They drafted him as well. So they had some guys that they had taken themselves. But then again, there were a lot of veteran guys that they brought, and they were a perennial playoff team. And there was no discipline. Is the point I was trying to make? Because these are guys that know how to be pros. They already know that, so you don't have to have a regimented schedule or anything. And I needed that type of discipline, my while behind. So I go out there and I think it was the next to last preseason game. I get a thigh bruise or something I never had, and next thing you know, uh, Al Davis actually cut me. He cut me. He cut me three times. Three times. He bring me back. He liked me, and they bring me back. And then he cut me. I couldn't stay healthy. Could not stay healthy. But that rookie year, they cut me. I signed with the Colts, and we proceeded to go 1-15. We won one game, the Jets, and you would have thought we won the Super Bowl. It was
Y'all was turning up.
we turned it up, baby. We turned it up anyway, even though we were bad. Uh, and Eric Dickerson was my teammate. He was suspended the entire season, pretty much. He got into the doghouse in the doghouse with the coaching staff. But yeah, went there at the Colts. Then from there, I back then they had what was called Plan B free agency. It wasn't really free agency, but it was their version of it. Then you weren't actually free unless the team's like, all right, go ahead, take it. So I signed with Miami. Back issues uh, resurfaced. Didn't play. Then I go back to the Raiders. I think this was 1994, and get released again. I kept getting hurt. Got released. Decided my coach position coach Jim Haslett said you should go to NFL Europe, go to NFL Europe, play over there in Scotland, the Scottish Claymores, and oof,
Yeah.
that place.
I was gonna ask you about that too. How was that? What was the difference between Europe and America?
It was boring, and some of the most hideous looking women on the planet. Yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
Edinburgh,
Lee.
Scotland. Edinburgh, Scotland. And the natives didn't like us, and we didn't like the natives. All these brothers over there in Scotland, and but hey, I went over there and did what I needed to do. We weren't a great team, but I played well enough. Uh, I mentioned Coach Haslett. He had left the Raiders and gone to New Orleans, so he got him to sign me at New Orleans, and that's where I spent my last 4 years in the league. Was in New Orleans because Coach Haslett brought me in, and it all worked out, man.
Got you. Yeah, that was my next question for you, but you already in. I was just like, what was it about the Saints that made it such a perfect fit and you were able to have a home there for a few years? But yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like it was
it
the
was
coach.
it was it was Coach Haslett. I knew the scheme. I actually knew the scheme from college. We ran that similar scheme, uh, and I was able to stay healthy. So he brought me in for training camp, and the rest is history, man. We hung out there for a minute and balled out.
Yeah. When you did decide to retire, how hard was that transition? And how hard was it to move from playing football to now going into another space?
Well, I didn't decide. Football decided for me. I kept getting hurt. I'm telling you, I kept getting. I of course, I had the back surgery I mentioned after my freshman season. Then I had an arthroscopic knee surgery at Texas prior to my junior year. But other than that, I was cool. You know, Nixon cuts here and there. I get to the pros. It was like, what is this? I am always in the training room. So the game just spit me out and said, okay, I'm done with you. I re injured my back. And so I wasn't the same player. And I was trying to hang on, but I couldn't. Then the Saints Rick Venturi, to his credit, the next offseason brought me back for a tryout to see if I could cut it, and I still couldn't cut it. So that was it. And it was difficult. Someone said it a long, long time ago before me that athletes always die twice, when their career is over and when they physically expire. And it's dude, it's I don't care. Even if you have planned for it, it's still difficult. It's difficult. And I hadn't paid any attention to Plan B. I'm thinking I should have been the last person thinking I was invincible, considering all the injuries I had sustained. But I was in the wilderness, man, trying to find myself. What do I want to do? I had always wanted to study acting and did a little bit while I was playing. I was on an episode of The Big Easy, which was filmed in New Orleans, and so I moved back to LA, started going to acting school, and it's funny how God works, man. Because I'm doing this acting stuff and I'm going on these casting calls and sitting by the phone waiting for it to ring and just calling the agencies. Or did they call? Did they want me? I mean, just clamoring for a gig, right? And it never happened. So one day I'm sitting there, I'm watching. I was living in Burbank at the time. I'm sitting there watching 60 Minutes, and they were doing an expose on Denzel Washington. Denzel was at this time he, he'd already won an Academy Award for Glory. So we're talking early 2000. This is 1999, December 1999. I'm watching this, and but he was lamenting the fact that he didn't always receive good scripts, even at this stage of his career. And I was like, "What the heck am I doing?" I had to have a a talk with myself, that internal deliberation, man. And I do it all the time now. And just got down on my knees and prayed. And the Lord said, "Take your butt back to school." I sold everything I owned. I was wasting it away anyway. Sold everything I owned, moved back to Austin, and everything started aligning. The NFL had a program where if you didn't complete your degree prior to going to the league, you could tap into these funds and they would pay for it. So I tapped into that. I had a friend that was their daughters had graduated from UT. They had a condo a couple blocks from campus, rented, leased that condo. So everything aligned, and that told me I was heading in the right direction, doing the right thing. And so went back to school. Best decision I ever made, man. Bar none, the best decision. And graduated, stayed there, and graduated. Got my degree, and the rest is history.
For sure. So yeah, as you said, as you mentioned, you went back to school, you got your degree, and then you started the beginning of your media career. And then you
Yeah.
mentioned this at the panel, how they used to have you carry this big contraption on the sidelines. I forgot the name of that, man. Can you remind me of what
Parabolic
exactly
mic.
you had
The
the parabolic?
parabolic mic is what it's called. And it's a little satellite dish. That's the sound through your television, the sound through your radio. It comes through, flows through that contraption. You are correct. So I'm sitting there. Uh, I'm there. I've enrolled in school, and I'm sitting in my buddy's office at the time, Donnie Little. Donnie was the first black quarterback at UT back in the late '70s, early '80s, and at the time was working for UT. So I'm in his office, and he says the sideline gig for radio broadcast is open. You should apply for that. So he called up the general manager right then and there, Lee Hudson. We're still friends to this day. And Lee said, "Well, unfortunately, we've already assigned someone to the as a sideline reporter for this season." And she said, "If you're going to be here next year, you can have it." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be here at least 2 years because I hadn't done any work on my degree when I was there." Well, actually, I had, but things had changed. I mean, You leave school in 1991 and you come back in 2000. A lot
All
had
your credit's
changed.
gone.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot had
All your
changed.
credit's
I had
gone.
all the credits. So I said, sure. She said, now, if you're would you be open to carrying the parabolic mic? I didn't even know what it was either. I was like, what is that? And so she explained, and I said yes. And my boy Kenneth Sims, who's a we lost this last spring, but one of the greatest players to ever lace him up at UT. He said, "Man, put your pride in your pocket. When you have nothing in your pocket, put your pride in your pocket." And that's exactly what I did. And I carried that parabolic mic, traveled with that bad boy. But I also was blessed. I hosted Mac Brown's TV show. I hosted Rick Barnes' TV show shortly after that. I started doing local radio, cutting my teeth there. So I really got ingratiated with the radio and TV in a real way once I went back to UT to complete my degree.
Got you. Now, like you said, it was your first time, your first reporter job. How was that? What was the adjustment like going from one time playing and now you're doing your first job on air, you're reporting, you're on radio as well. How was that adjustment for you?
It was an adjustment because I was a wild man, and my partners, Chad Hastings, who are still buddies to this day. I'm on his podcast or whatever he calls it. He and Jeff Ketchum on a weekly basis during football season. But he had to rein me in. He had to rein me in, give me a little discipline, and give me. Uh, he did what you're supposed to do when you care about your craft, and I wasn't putting into it what I should have been putting into it because it was important, and it was important to my co-hosts. It should have been as important to me because it took all of us to make it successful. So Chad sat me down and gave me a talking to, and to this day I appreciate that. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what we did in the locker room as well. So yeah, it was a big adjustment, man. I'm coming in hot, but I slowly uh, learning from those guys, watching those guys, got into a rhythm, and we created something that was nice. And of course, being a former NFL player, I was able to get certain guests on the show, uh, and so that helped our ratings, and definitely put our show above others at times. So, but yeah, definitely an adjustment, man. But as a player, I was always interviewed, so I was used to doing that. But now, being on the other side of it, yeah, it took a little time. You don't just get in there and you fully understand the medium and how things are going. There were things I had to learn that weren't within my purview. So yeah, it was fun though. It was fun, and then that got old though. I wanted to move on. I said, okay, I've been doing this for a minute. I think I did the radio for maybe 4 years, 3 to 4 years, and then I said, well, it's time to move on and go bite, take a bigger bite of the apple.
For sure. And then in 2013, that's when you joined CBS Sports Radio with Chris Moore. He's a
Well, yeah.
veteran.
Before that, I was Fox Sports Southwest. Uh, and did that, and then I did that solely 1 year, and then the next year I did New York and Fox Sports Southwest. I did both, and actually, I think I no. It was the first year I did both. Then the next year I left Fox Sports Southwest and just did CBS, which was CSTV at the time, College Sports Television. So I did that, and then 2013 they asked me if I wanted to do the radio, and I said, sure, why not? Oh my goodness! What was at that time I was doing evening drive 6 to 10, 4 hours of radio. Come on, yeah, it was rough. And then I did that 2 years, then I switched to Geo and Jones, which was morning drive. That was 6 to 9, but getting up at 4 in the morning. Ugh. And living in New York year round, especially those winters. I still don't know how I made it.
Yeah, yeah. Connecticut, it ain't better over here either.
Right?
Mhm. So then after that, you were eventually added to the as being analyst on College Football Today, the pregame show
Yeah,
for SEC on CBS. How was it? Did you find? I know you were doing other roles and stuff like that, but were you was this like the end goal for you eventually, or were you like, okay, like
yeah.
I'm here now, I arrive, basically?
Well, as I shared on the panel at NABJ a couple weeks ago, I've been watching that show, and I said, "Man, I need to get to that show. I need to get to that show. I want to do that show." And finally, I got the call. Tyler Hill, who was with me prior to CBS acquiring CSTV, called, said, "Hey, man, we're thinking about putting you on the show on Saturdays. We want to put you." He said, "We think about it." He said, "We want to put you on." I was like, and I was stunned and shocked, and then ecstatic and exuberant, and started yelling and screaming. And so that's how that came about. I loved working with that show and Spencer and Brando. They weren't they're too long with me. Spencer longer run with him, but yeah, to be on the SEC today, that big brand, that was cool. Did I say I have arrived? No. I try to keep from saying that because you're always learning. You're always trying to get better. You're continuously working on your craft. But uh, all the way from LA, Lubbock area to this, yeah, yeah.
It felt good for
Stick your
sure.
chest out a little bit.
Yep, yep, for sure. Now, you accomplished many things throughout your playing career and your media career. When you look back at everything that you accomplished, what's the moment that you're most proud of, or the accomplishment that you're most proud of?
Hmm. Great question. Going back getting my degree, man. That that was such a seminal moment for me. Doing that, and just growing in this business, being coachable and open to growing and learning from mistakes. Uh, I look back, I could have been a better broadcast, especially on radio. Now that I look back on it, uh, but and I utilize those reflections today in what I do in television. But uh, just working hard and knowing this was a dream, a goal, and to be able to achieve two significant goals playing in the NFL and now playing or being at this level of broadcasting. Pretty damn cool, homie.
Yeah, yeah, you made it in two fields. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's it. And working on some more in the business world. So, yeah.
Wow, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, absolutely. Now, what would you tell, what's some advice or something you would tell a young journalist or someone just now starting out in this business trying to make their way through?
Be true to who you are. Don't try to be someone else. Do you. And allow your personality to come shining through. That's what I would tell. Do you and just be true to who you are. And work hard. And be a sponge. Be the people you're working around now or with, be a sponge and pick up little tidbits here and there and ask questions. Sometimes we can be a little afraid to ask someone of my status or even lower or what have you questions, but you got to, that's how we learn. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. But the main thing is we got I want to see your personality. We all get the same information. And the key is letting your personality come through. The key is how you convey that information, how you do it in an entertaining way for the audience. I'm not saying be fake, be phony. I'm loud. I don't. It just comes. I don't go out and say I'm gonna be
Yeah,
loud today. I just it just
yeah.
comes out.
They audience could tell, yeah. They'll know that.
It's just passion. I have no. I to this day I don't know where that comes from, where it emanates. It's just we were on set last week and it came out like wow that was loud. But hey, if I haven't controlled it by now, I don't think I'm gonna be able to control it. Yeah. So the main thing, Ryan, is And have belief in yourself, man. And it doesn't. And you got to have some patience. I'll say this: you have to have patience. Don't be jealous or envious of someone else sitting in that chair. I said this at the on the panel in Cleveland. You know, David in the Bible sitting in second place, but he knew he was going to be in first, or God knew he was going to be in first. He knew he had plans for him to be in first place, even though he was sitting in second place. Now, a lot of that is because of him and things he did. And some reasons we don't elevate or ascend as quickly as possible because of what we've done, our behavior. So be patient, work hard, and just concentrate on what you can control. So if you master that, you're gonna be all right.
For sure. No, I appreciate that. Definitely. Now, before I let you go, I know the people can find you every Saturday morning on College Football Today on CBS Sports Network. What other projects or any other things where they could find you at or locate you if they want to hear more from you, anything like that?
Um, Tuesday nights we have Inside College Football on CBS Sports Network. Now, next week ICF will be on a Wednesday night, but other than that, it's every Tuesday night, and it's a 2-hour program until we start having games on Tuesday nights. So you can check us out. Myself, Rick Neuheisel, Adam Zucker, Aaron Taylor, Randy Cross. Check us all out on Tuesday nights on Inside College Football, and then of course, as you mentioned, on Saturdays, it's me, Aaron, Adam, and Rick. So that's it. That's the schedule, man. It's here. Looking forward to it. We got a week zero game this week, Stanford and Hawaii. So we'll be on the set. Stanford and Hawaii. Yeah. So we'll be there for that, but we'll be on the set for that. But every Tuesday and every Saturday, you got us.
Got you, man. Yeah, football season's here. It got here quick on us. It got here fast on us. It's about that time.
Yep.
About that time for sure. Man, I appreciate you coming on. You like you said, you did not have to do this, man. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate you giving me the spotlight. Brian Jones, everyone. Thank you again.
Ryan, my man. You fam, homie. Anytime, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right,
Hookem.
episode 25. We in the books. Hookup. Yes, sir.